in the industry who are changing the narrative and who are revolutionizing the sector generally, allowing us to embrace technology in agriculture. And this way, it makes it easier because we would say it over and over again that the old method of practicing agriculture is not sustainable. And so there is a need to embrace the modern and the mechanized method of practicing agriculture. Imagine having a drone that can help you oversee your farm, because if you have large hectares of land, there is no way you can walk from the beginning of your farm to the end. But with a drone, you can achieve this. With a drone, you can monitor your plants and even control pests and diseases. There's a lot of potentials, there's a lot of opportunities that the drone space has to offer for the agriculture's sector. And personally, I am so happy that we have a young person taking up this and who has started making impact in the industry. So join me as I welcome Mr. Femi Adekoya. I'll repeat again, aka the Flying Farmer. Thank you for joining us. And yes, you have the stage now. You have the floor now.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me? Let me just confirm
Yes,
that. Okay.
Yes,
yes,
yes, yes.
Yes,
All
we can
right.
hear you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I mean, it's a pleasure and honor, and something that I don't take for granted. I mean, speaking with crop of minds, like you, like I described, you are young, I believe, brilliant, intelligent, and you are also visionary, because for you to be here, I mean, to listen to what have to say, what I have to share with you, it means that you actually you have a vision, you have an objective, perhaps you have a purpose um, to 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 gain. I mean, to achieve at the end of the day. So thank you so much, Tolani, if I'm right, for the introduction, and thank you so much, Ekundayo Damilari, yeah, for the invitation. It's awesome, and so I'm invited to talk about youth engagement in agribusiness. And for me, I don't have a slide to present to you. Um, but what I cherish most is to actually relate with you, and you can be able to have something more relatable, mostly from my experience. I mean, I think people say experience is a better teacher, and most times I agree, not every time though, because sometimes experience can be a bitter teacher to you who has the experience. Okay, but you can learn from people's experience and gain from it. You can be inspired by people's experience, and you can also gain motivation and also clarity from people's experience. That's why we read biographies and the likes. That's the advantage of that we have. Okay, so talking about youth engagement in agribusiness, and I believe that every one of you on this call can be described as a youth. I want to assume. And before I go ahead, there is a fellow. I guess his name is Olabisi Joseph. Are you the one who chatted me up? Who sent me a message on LinkedIn? I'd like to hear from you. Are you here?
Yes,
You
sir.
can
Yes,
unmute
sir.
yourself. I'd like to hear.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I'm the
awesome.
one.
I want to say thank. Yeah, that is one. I want to say thank you for. I mean, sending a message across. I mean, I saw it this evening. I'm like, wow, that's
Yes,
good.
sir.
Good one. Yeah, I thought to recognize you. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. So going forward, so let me just use my probably I need to share my story so that I can get my point across talking about youth. Um, well, why we may be different, me and you may be different in the terms of probably a little bit from our background. Um, from my teenage, I will use the word, yeah, teenage days. I mean, I've actually fallen in love with the concept of agriculture. And what drew me into agriculture was the idea that I can plant one seed of maize today, and in a matter of weeks, I'll get hundreds of that seed back. I mean, that's like ATM machine now, cash out or cash up, like you want to call it. And it's the promise of the economic empowerment that um, that appeared to me at that age. If I can understand from my junior secondary school, probably I'll be at 12, or I'm not sure, probably, but I know it's at that time. And I said, okay, I paid more attention to agriculture. um, I I just love everything about agriculture. So when you talk about agriculture, I'm fascinated. I want to listen to you. So, and that has actually propelled my understanding, probably academics or what have you. And I know I'm speaking with many undergraduates here, and you can be able to relate. I mean, when it was time for university, it wasn't long for me to choose. I mean, nobody need to advise me. I don't need a counselor. I chose agriculture, and I mean, trying to specialize in horticulture because um, I just thought, okay, plant science would be good for me, and that was how it started. And in 200 level, I said this idea of economic empowerment, we must get it. I mean, let me start something. Where can I start from? And I took the initiative to start agribusiness, particularly. I mean, doing business, planting, selling, understanding the mechanism. What is actually the business around? How can I make profits? How can and that's what I would say there is. It's very good you start early, and I will tell you the implication of what happens, or the implication of me starting at that time. Um, I know that many of you do not have this experience. Probably you're in your 400 level, 500 level, probably in your penultimate year, or final year, trying to round up, and our stories are different. But I would say it's not too late. So it's not too late. I'm just saying all of this so that you can be able to get a point. And the point is this: starting agribusiness, particularly, yeah, in the school, I went to Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. That's an agricultural school first. And but you probably some of you will believe everybody's doing agriculture. No, not everybody's doing agriculture. I mean, I was so unique in my set that when I plant, I sell to my students, I sell to staffs. I'm not ashamed to carry my crates or my basket around the school. And I remember those days, and I just laugh. And you know, I go about from farm to staff offices. I mean, particularly to administrative blocks, Senate building. I mean, I I just moved around selling my stuff and also attending class. So when people want to describe me, they say Femi. I wish Femi say Femi Farmer. So and that's the way I got the name Femi Farmer. And so I got that brand name. I started with that brand, Femi Farmer, Femi Farmer. So I drawing around the school, and I was enjoying it, and I was learning. So, well, for me, I never set out the goal for me starting agribusiness then, I mean, was just to empower myself, was just to add change to what my parents are sending because um, I, I'm not that really privileged, I mean, in terms of higher money, but I'm privileged to have my parents. So they're loving. And so just to augment what, and I also want to live large now. You see campus guys, you want to buy shoes, you want to feel among. So I started, and now the point is this: because I started from the school, I started agribusiness. I engaged. You just have to get involved. Okay. Um, People always ask, like, where do you get land? How do you get this? And I find it difficult to always answer people why. Because I feel school has a lot of land. Why can't you go there? let me tell you, how I started. Many of the land I got, it was just from sheer passion and will. Some people say where there is will, there is a way. So it appears surprising to many students, like how you doing this, how you doing this. But I mean, my passion actually covered. I mean, yeah, overcame my fear to just take some bold steps, and that was how I started. And the implication of that is because I started early, the brand, the identity, that identity followed me after graduation. So it wasn't hard for me to transition into the real world in quotes because I've actually been playing in the real world already. I know I know how things go. I know my economics. I know when I produce my vegetables and I move from vegetables, leafy vegetables to fruit vegetables like cucumbers, watermelons, tomatoes, and you know, I know where I failed, and at that time also, I got understanding that it was better for me to try my hands on many things at that time. Uh, Beyond vegetables and the likes, I did a lot of poetry. I mean, you can't. I mean, many things if I remember now, I just like, oh, I did this also. I mean, what I did poetry, rabbitry, and we did all of those things. And good that I also had teams of people. I mean, beekeeping also. Yeah, I did beekeeping. What have you? And the point I want to let you know is that it is good. This is the best time. Okay, if you're an undergraduate, this is the best time you can experiment with people's money or with your money or with your parents' money. You will not graduate and you want to get a fund and you want to experiment with it. No, you will not do that. So that's where the engagement comes in. When you engage early, um, that gives you that leverage to be able to understand what works and what does not work. It gives you the confidence. Probably somebody wants to consult you, you want to stand to defend your degree, or what as an agricultural expert. You are on the field. The way you talk is different from the way another person that is just reading it from the book talks. There's some things that you can never get from the book. No, even your lecturer do not know it if it does not get involved in the field, particularly the economics, particularly questions like when, questions, you just get stuck. But when you practice, when you do it, even no matter how small it is, it gives you that confidence. Um, and that's a leverage to be able to take on big projects that suit you after graduation. Or perhaps um, that can be able to meet your pockets, yeah, your demand, your financial demand, as the case may be. Okay, so graduating and um, just yeah, I'm always humble to say this, but graduating as even the best out of my class. I mean, I graduated as a first class student, despite the fact that I was actively engaged in agribusiness. Oh my God. There are times that I think I shared one of these pictures on my Facebook one time, and people were commenting. I was like, "Wow, what a good memory." I mean, uh, and people say, "I remember the time that you come to Iyat Hostel." I mean, that's female hostel in Funab. Then I will have exam the next day, but I want money. I want to sell my vegetables, pepper or what have you. I have a lot to sell, and I will go to that particular hostel till 8 o'clock. I mean, I will harvest. I will harvest probably after. I will harvest the whole day. I think that will be an exam time. So I will harvest sometimes like in the evening, targeting my market in the. I mean, sometimes in the evening, late in the evening, and going to sell at that hostel. And I'll be kicked out by 8 o'clock when it's closing time. I mean, when the open stuff, I've forgotten the name they call that time, I'll be kicked out, and I'll still go back to class to read. Although I, I most of the time sleep and wake up when I think I assimilate better. That's around 4, just to catch up. I mean, and that doesn't mean that I have a magic wand. Being on the field helps me to assimilate what I read because I have the passion for it. So things are not clear from the theoretical part. The practical part helps me to understand it. I mean, it wouldn't be difficult for me when I'm seeing a particular plant every day and I'm calling it the scientific name. I won't get into the exam and forget. Why will I forget? No, because I can see it every day and I'm calling it the name that that sticks actually in my brain. Aha. So I'm familiar with my field. Crop physiology or anything, things that your lecturers are just giving you books from. But I can be able to relate. I can be able to picture it on the field, and that helped me academically. That's just by the way. So let's go back to after graduating, and I mean, Femi Farmer. When many of my guys, I mean, want to be a farm manager and things like that, they would just call me, Femi, they ask me this question, like I would answer them and answer this way, answer this way. There was one particular guy that said, see, I'm not even doing this thing again. I mean, he got into interview. I think a man wants to employ him. And he said, okay, Femi, you speak to this man. And that was my first job. I mean, after NYSC, and it wasn't full time, it was on a consulting basis. So, and yeah, I was able to use that money to sustain and grow my business too, and also understand some sort of things like I mean do new things, particularly in the field. Now, you want to then your question is how do you get into agritech or something like that? I mean, I hope you're picking the points that I'm trying to relate. If you are picking the points, can I just understand? I mean, I just want to know if I'm actually communicating well. Ekudayo, please, or someone should just. Um, I have been speaking. I like to. Am I still on? Are you
Yes,
getting?
yes, yes. I can hear
Oh,
you
nice.
clearly.
Oh, good, good, good,
You're
good, good.
following.
Okay, okay. And now, so you ask, what's the road to the flying farmer? Or somebody call me tech bro. Anyway, I understand that. We're talking about agriculture, and because I feel that because I have been on the field quite early enough. I mean, it's more than a decade now. Yes, now. Yeah, it's more than a decade now. Um, or a decade. Okay, so because I've been on the field, I'm a farmer myself. I understand. So I understand that I cannot do much without technology. I've had that understanding and I have had that mindset. Like um one of my career objectives, if I would articulate it well, is to be an astute professional, an agricultural professional, contributing to food security in the context of sustainable environment, um, through technological innovation and proven scientific knowledge. So that summarizes what I do professionally, my career goal. You want to talk about academics, and that's why I talk about proven scientific knowledge. I'm a researcher. I mean, I'm a Commonwealth scholar also. I mean, um, I'm a practitioner. So I can say I am in the field. I know the pain points of farmers, or we the farmers, and um, and I see that we cannot go far. We cannot actually make agriculture profitable, attractive, um, sustainable, and also maintain a relevant lifestyle in the society without talking about technology. Yeah, I because I choose agriculture, I'm always found in the midst of trying to prove my point. Like, why did I choose agriculture, not be a doctor? You see, doctor, even in my school, we don't do normal human medicine, but we say vet medicine, and one would say I'm doing computer science, and you want to also prove like no, I'm relevant in this space beyond just saying you eat food. No, now, yeah, which is true. So, but fact is that we need technology. We need technology to scale, and we need technology to scale. We need technology not to remain small. And as you go and as you get into agribusiness or as you grow in agribusiness, please don't fancy the idea of smallholder farmers. From now on, I mean, probably I want to intoxicate your mind, and I mean, don't fancy the idea of smallholder farmers. We are not small. We don't want to remain small. The way people garnish all these policymakers and co, the way they garnish the word for smallholder farmer, smallholder farmer. We are smallholder farmer because we are in poverty. Let's be clear. If you have the money, you will do agriculture. And many of the smallholder farmers that we have today, when you ask them, do you want your children to inherit you? They would say no, or do what you're doing. They say no. And that's the mindset we want to change. Okay, so we need technology to be able to scale. And when people ask me, like, how does your drone help smallholder farmers? I say, yeah, it helps smallholder farmers when they come in clusters. But my target is actually the largeholder farmers, because those are the people I want that have the capacity to receive the technology that we are providing. So, and smallholder farmers that are ready to scale, ready to grow. Okay, and that's the idea. We don't want to be in the circle of poverty. Let people come into agriculture, go to the farm. But you're going to the farm and you're going back to the circle of into a battle rigs. You are the leagues. I mean, the farmers are the least in the value chain, and they are also any less. The penny of the gains along the value chain. That's not what we want. We want crop of generation that are actually engaged in agribusiness as a business, and they know the figure and they know their place in agribusiness. So now, back to the technology. So I know that we need technology to scale. So talk about many technologies. I'm always enthusiastic to know. You want to talk about biotechnology, either seed or organism. You want to talk about GMOs. You want to talk about CRISPR, or new technologies, innovative ways that transforms, that changes things and makes our life better. That's what interests me, and that's what should interest you as a youth in agribusiness, or studying agriculture, or producing food. See beyond the little that you have right now, and position yourself rightly. It's not the matter of your economic, only about your economic capability right now. No, but your mind, your drive, what drives you when the opportunity comes. Now, this is how I got the opportunity to get involved with drone technology. I mean, while I was on Commonwealth Scholarship in the UK, of course, I've been doing works, practitioner, and also volunteering, teaching smallholder farmers, and youth particularly. In what I know, what I do, and I know the story. I know the problem statement. So I was and also coupled with my academic standing. So I was actually awarded a Commonwealth Scholarship to study integrated pest management. But that's if you understand integrated pest management, it's related to crop protection or plant health. That side of agronomy. That side, let me use the word, that side of agronomy. So so I was just studying just biological sciences now. But when I saw my school don't have this land-based skill, this entrepreneurial training, department or units like that. So when I saw drones, and a lot of things run to my mind. Some guys discouraged me. Discouraged me, like, what do you want to use this word to do, and things like that. But because I had the mindset, like, and let me shock you, I don't really understand like I know now. Okay, I would say 10% of what I know now about drone technology, and I'm using drones right now. I don't know it at that time when I saw, but I know that this is an opportunity. It was quite expensive. If I would convert the money into naira, I'm not talking. I mean, don't let me disclose, but I know it's not just a change. So I took time, and I took my fund. I had to sacrifice out of my stipend, and I enrolled. Like I said, I'm going to do this thing. I don't know what will come after it. I don't know what will take, but I know that this thing is actually, we've been hearing the rumors. I've not seen drone flew over me. While in Nigeria, I've not seen drone. I know some of you might not have not seen drone fly. Probably you just see it in films and things like that. But I've not also seen drone fly over me. While I was in Nigeria, when I got to the like, wow, this is drone. I must learn it. I must get the skill. So I took that opportunity, like any opportunity that comes my way to learn. I'm going to learn. If not for Corona, I enrolled to some certification courses in the school just to, get the skill and also get the certification and that validation as a professional. So good, I enrolled for to learn drone technology, and I was licensed at the end of the day. Good, by the UK Civil Aviation Authority. Now, and now I am combining my agricultural expertise with the skill of drones to provide solutions for farmers. All right. So, and that's just me harnessing the opportunity just at my fingertip. Even though I do not know much of what we turn into today, I never estimated of becoming a flying farmer. I mean, I didn't know something like that. But I just thought this skill is good, the experience is good. Let's see how it goes. And with faith, I would use the word faith because I just had to buy a craft and things like that to meet the requirement for the training. It was actually intensive. So, and that's how I got involved with drone technology now in agriculture. So I tell people that what this is my unique selling point. I am not just any guy who has access to drone and shooting wedding pictures and co. And I'm not the drone guy trying to use drones for agriculture. Mm-mm. I am the agriculturist that uses drone as a tool to solve agricultural problems. There's a difference. There's a whole difference. So, and that's actually something I need you to know. I know I've said a lot. There's a lot to, and many of you would like to ask me questions, and there's time limits also. But I'd like to receive your questions. I mean, advice. If you want me to advise, okay, what's your? I'd like to yield the mic now, listen to you, and answer your questions. But I believe that you've been inspired with my story, and I'm still a youth, so how we can change the narrative and transform agriculture and make agriculture a noble cause. When you mention that you're a farmer, let me shock you. There's a difference. We're in the West, probably in the UK, where I had experience. When you say you're a farmer, the way people will look at you, they say this guy is class. This guy get money. That's what it means in the West. When you say you're a farmer, hey, it means that you have vast acreage of land. It means that you have technology at your beck and call. Like you have government support. You have those big heavy machinery. And guess what? These guys are what they are wearing. Like it may be simple, but it's actually expensive. And so people see them like, wow, this is class. When you hear the cowboys in America, cowboys, I mean, they are not small guys. So, but here in South Sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria in particular, we say you're a farmer, like, and you want to marry. What will happen? Like, you're a farmer. Which kind of farmer are you? You attract a lot of questions to you, but we can change the narrative. We can change the narrative and the perception, and that's why we are having this talk today. Agribusiness, you can involve yourself along the value chain. Yeah, I've situated myself along the agritech space, but the value chain is wide and big for everyone to come in and make tangible profits, be relevant, and impact your society with it. So I'll stop there for now. Thank you so much, guys.
Wow. Thank you very much, Femi. The flying farmer himself, that's a very vast experience you shared. We appreciate you for the time and the knowledge that we've acquired. All right. Let me quickly start the question. I'm very sure that many of us have questions that would like to ask. And I'm very sorry for the low number that we're having. Some of them have to take permission to go and pray and So that's why the session is recorded. All right. So I want to ask, basically, the agribusiness value chain is challenging, and I'm glad that you started early, like you said, from school, producing and the likes and the likes. But in respective locations, we might not have the same opportunity of doing the way you planted, because there are many challenges that we will face, from input supplies, the part of production itself, combining the work together. For example, now in OAU, the student portion for land, maybe in partnership with Usme Farm, the distance alone to campus, the how will I call it now? The educational environment is far, and the cost of movement also, not talk of going to hostel has restrictions sometimes too. So how do you think students in respective institution can key in into the aspect of production? One, two, what is your advice for those who would like to venture across the value chain, maybe the post production aspect, the marketing aspect? And what are the things, the last question is, what are the relevant skills you advise undergraduate to get before leaving school? Thank you.
All right, all right. Again, I need to stress. I'm always happy when I get to speak with youths, particularly undergraduates of agriculture. Why? Because I've been there. I I I wish I could do something better than I that I started, and it's always my delight to share, um, share from my experience, my failures and my success. Now, I understand and I can relate with your first question, like, the land they give to us is far. That's it's always like that in Funab. It's like that too in Funab. It's like that too. And the accessibility is not really there. Why you want to combine that with your school? But trust me, during my own time, I broke some limits. I don't even need to write letter to anybody. When I see a place like this place makes sense. It's hidden. There won't be development here soon. I clear it. I start work. That's the way I started. you know, I mean, I just define some stuff, like I just must do this thing. Um, so and well, I would say luck was for me, if you want to use that word. Um, and I started with, I think there's this program that I was fortunate to join, Work and Learn. Um, Work and Learn started, I think, a month after or weeks after I got informed. Work and Learn was actually organized by it's an independent program in a school like that, funded by uh, forgotten the I think Coventry University and blah 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 like that. It was just for organic agriculture. Why I'm saying this is this, you will learn something there. And I went to the program leader, like, I want to join this thing. That was my 20 level, because I want to join, I want to learn, I want to do this, I want to get money and work and learn. That makes sense. I will work, I will learn, I will earn. That makes sense. And he tested me and said, no, go and meet the dean, and dean again. You know that fear you have as student, like, dean, dean, me, dean. I summoned courage. I went. I did everything that I could do, and I saw the dean. And at the end of the day, he wrote me a letter, and and said, "You go and meet him." And I got into the program. That was where it started. And after that, I was just scaling up. Now, I think what I would advise, if you want to go into production, if you do not have, yeah, I know many odds will be stacked against you. That's a fact. Many odds will be stacked against you, but um, your willpower and I hope luck be for you. Yeah, it's always like that too. And you can also leverage um, coming together to do things. It makes things easier for you guys. Your collective voice to advocate, to request for stuff could help. And if you also have personal land or outside, you can talk to people. I want to do this. you want to learn, you want to start from somewhere, you can, in production, either plants, either animals. Um, you just must start from somewhere. You just must start from somewhere. So there are creative ways to which you can go about it, particularly. So I would say, yeah, I admit that it's not smooth. The odds may be against you, but you must just be determined that you you just have to start somewhere and start. Just start. The earlier you start, the better it becomes. I started with work and learn with 5 by 10 meters space. If you understand, 5 meters by 10 meters. I started with planting ugu. Yeah, ugu. I think I ugu. Yeah, and from there, many students ran away when it was exam time. That was when I took the opportunity. I was just collecting their land. So, they weren't available. So, and because I just want to do more, I was showing up. So that's the way I grew. From that point, I moved to I gained what you want to call traction and that credibility. I was introduced to another place, like, okay, use this place. That's the way it started. So, but it didn't start by me uh, just just looking around, but I started from somewhere. So, and also leverage coming together to get things done. It could help in a way. And for those who want to leverage across the value chain, I think at that time, um, I think it was in my 500 level I got to register for for Facebook, and that was 2015. Probably some of you had started using Facebook since 2010. I don't know, but the power of social media is also there. Yeah, I if I had the power of social media then, I mean, ah, I believe I should have blown beyond this. Um, but good. But you can, as you have what you do, share it, share your journey, share your story, share your challenges, and there are community of people to help you out there. So you want to key into marketing, understand what how you want to come in, understand the problem, understand the market. Market is good. Marketing is good. You want to start with production, you are in love with production, start with that. Just start from somewhere. Either selling one crate of egg or selling one bag of cucumbers. Identify. You just must know your strengths. Let me say that. You just must know your strength. Identify and how you can, either in advisory service, how can you position very well um, to actually give advice? What are the things required of you? Do you need, I mean, your knowledge base must be there. I mean, yes, and you must know how to communicate if you want to be in advisory or consulting, particularly helping people to establish their farm. You must also have proofs. Yeah, so that's why I said you just must start from somewhere. Um, I think the last question. What was the last question, Ekundayo?
But I'm trying to ask that what will be your advice on some particular skill
Okay,
that
yes,
every
yes, I love
undergraduate
that
should
question.
acquire?
Oh, good, 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 good. I would say there are a lot of skills out there. I mean, people say soft skill, this skill, that skill. I will just tell you, this is the time to amass the skills that you can get. I mean, as many as you can. This is just the time because uh, you get to know why. But I've said that generally. Be open to learn new things. This is the time you can shape your understanding. You can relate. Um, and depending on area of specialization you are trying to target, as an agronomist, I will tell you, see, the agronomists of the future will not be the one um, trying to use hand lens, microscope, and things like that. The agronomist of the future would be a data-driven agronomist. Do you know about artificial intelligence? Do you know about data sovereignty? Do you know about ICT? How does it operate beyond what they are teaching in your class? Forget about what they are teaching in your class. Your lecturer do not know it. Yeah, but the fact is that you want to position yourself for the future that you are actually seeing, the beautiful future. And you also want to feature in it. You want to be relevant in it. So understand, how does data-driven agriculture work? And data-driven agriculture, in particular, I mean, I'm an agronomist, okay, because I have basic plant science background. And how does, for example, let me use drones. How can I use drone as a tool to collect data as an agronomist? Let me give you this simple thing. You've planted cassava, you say, that's where we are going. I'm just telling you, that's where we are going. And the solution is here already. I offer that solution. You have planted cassava. And as an agronomist, you know that when you plant 1 meter by 1 meter, ideally you should not have less than 10,000 plants per hectare, 10,000 stands per hectare. If you plant 80 by 1 meter, you should have nothing less than 12,000 plants per stand per hectare. But after planting, you know that your propagule, I mean, that's your stem cutting, you will not all germinate 100% now. Not everybody born at the same day. I mean, even hundreds of people would actually live to. So this is a biological stuff, life, and let's say you have 70% germination. But how do you know you have 70% germination on the field? Do you want to go to the field and be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? And you would agree with me that if you have 70% germination, it simply means that you have lost 30% of your yield and profit already at the onset of your production. Then how do you close the gap, the yield gap, at that early stage? Drones come in. I go in there, I collect the data. What's the data? I collect the raster data, the imagery. Collect the imagery of the field, stitch it together, make it as a 2D anatomosaik image, photogrammetry that comes with remote sensing and that skill of remote sensing and photogrammetry. Now, what I have through this technology or the skill of this technology, I then apply artificial intelligence into it. Things that I cannot count in 1 hour, computer can count it in a second, and that's through machine learning. As I submit that data into machine learning, the computer sees it. I mean, that's computer vision. It picks it. Okay, it can pick that. Oh yeah, now you have comparing it to recommended population, plant population. You can say, okay, you have 85% germination, and this is the place that you need to supply. It will tell you the gaps. That plant count, stand count or plant count, whatever case may be. I can be able to understand the plant population density, and then I can be able to supply as early as possible. But if I also have challenge of supplying, probably I didn't get, stem propagule on time, and it was actually beyond time to supply. It simply means that if I want to apply fertilizer, if I want to apply some input, and the agronomist is telling me, oh, basically you have 1 hectare, you should apply 100 kg of nitrogen or NPK to your field. I know that, that recommendation is based on your plant population. So I definitely know that I only have 85%. It simply means that I am applying 85 kg instead of 100 kg, saving me cost and also saving the environment. That's smart agriculture. That's precision agriculture. So why did I say that? You as an agronomist, you just must open your mind up to new technology. Learn it. How does it work? You may not be able to fully grasp the nitty-gritty like a computer scientist. You don't need everything, but you just must know how it works and how it works for you. Right now, you have the mind, you have the resources. YouTube is there, everything is there. I mean, you just must have that understanding. And when the opportunity comes for you to turn that, always seek for opportunity. Don't just always wait that it should come. But when the opportunity comes, you sort it out. You can be able to use it. You can be able to remain relevant in the future of data-driven agriculture that we're talking about. You're agricultural economist. You know about latest software. I mean, just be aware. being aware, I mean, keeps you informed. Being aware, what are the latest software that you can use? What are the latest mobile application that people are using to ease accounting, to ease things like that? And skills are a lot. There are a lot of skills out there. I would say get all the skills that you need. Identify what you need to remain relevant in the future of work. Look at the trend. Where are we going in agriculture? Where do I want to feature? There are a lot of skills. I mean, I can say, but I've just used my own example. I mean, my own understanding to give you an hint. Uh, uh, um, a crop protectionist, you can see there are apps these days that can help you identify diseases. You don't need to crack your brain. There are apps these days that you don't need to. I mean, just point your phone camera or your stores to it. It will tell you the botanical name of that tree. That's computer vision, for God's sake. And we have just started. We have just started scratching the surface with this technology. So now that you have the core basic understanding, probably from what you are taught in the class. Core understanding, they have taught you 1 + 1 = 2 without calculator. Now you now have calculator. You know how calculator works and things like that. So that's why I said the last time, I am not just the drone guy. A computer scientist will not just come and say, this is how we use. No, no, no. The way we talk is different. Sure, you understand. So, but I'm talking from the applied perspective. I'm talking from the point of from the field perspective. Okay, so we are not just a random engineering guy. When a robotics guy talks, yeah, he can talk from his specialty and say, road drones are this and drones are that. We know this, we know the physics and things like that. Yeah, I know a little bit about the physics, but not like you. But you don't know what I know about agriculture. And that's the deal. So yeah, I think I'll stop there.
Wow, thank you very much. This is really, really explicit, and I think many of us are able to catch up with many of the facts that you have said. The skill is very important as you learn it. The application is what you will actually meet on the way through the journey of the value chain you are taking. And it's very important you pay cognizant attention to what you are learning, basically, because I think I could read on Akanlabi's Twitter page on is it early this week or last week that it was like a lot of students are graduating now, and it's so unfortunate that many of them will end up selling perfume, selling different things after school, and that message really, really pissed me because I was like, it's very true, it's very real,
It's true. Mm-hmm.
because these guys are not taught how to engage. And thank God we have one of the lecturers that two of the even the dean and the lecturer came. The first day, that's Professor finally the dean of Agricoya and one of the crop expert, Professor Amoju Egbe. We had this explicit discussion that why is it that students are just reading to just pass, get grade, and just get out of the system? And he point out a very amazing pointer, because the understanding of the why many people that are getting this course agriculture are not people that really are not really passionate about it. They're not people that really wanted to study it. These are guys that are wounded doctors, pharmacists, and the like. And he even explained, but he was trying to give a point that we need to understand, we need to get the knowledge first before we can explore outside. And I think you're actually at the Twitter page also by Destiny Precious about the farm year experience. And you can hear how people are giving out their own experience. Many people are not looking at the positive parts of the experience. We are almost so attached with the negative part of the experience, the opportunities, the inclination that the experience alone gives when you are speaking. And from what you just said, now you also open our mind to knowing that the little experience that we might call little, why in the process of learning in school and practicing, sum up together to avail of its other opportunities in the journey of so I'm very happy that
You're
you're
right.
able to
You're right.
explain explicitly and really, really show the passion. It's the passion that keeps you going. And I'm very happy because the last time I met you, I think I was asking you personal question about the drone and the like. And I made the move myself to talk to the dean. And I was like, I would like us to incorporate the drone technology, even with just the learning of the drone technology into the syllabus of the family. And he agreed. And I'm hoping that OAU pick that up soonest, that you can
Mm.
incorporate the system. I think I was also told that there are some students that from the Okolo initiative that they created a drone technology that was practiced at OAU farm to check the density of something. I'm not really sure about that. And I can was telling me that you're actually working on a project on bringing young agri-tech guys together on the drone aspect. And that really fascinating and really encompassing that every of the knowledge patched into one niche and is solving a particular problem. Thank you very much, Mr. Femi. I'm really glad to have you open our minds to the needful thing we need to engage ourselves with one on campus that will be a prospect to us by the time we are done with the school. And I would like to
Mhm.
ask, is anybody that has question before I release Mr. Femi? Please feel free. This is the only time you can ask question, ask, and let's work with this great man. Is there any question? You can type it at the comment section. We have just 3 minutes. Agile Mommy is here. I'm waiting. Anybody? If you cannot unmute yourself, just drop your message. Drop your message at the chat box, please. All right, Mr. Femi, I would like to ask that are people here permitted to reach out to you in case they have any question? Because I don't think probably they are shy. Because these are people that have started this program together.
Okay. It's fine. I mean, I'm always happy to engage. I mean, yeah, it's fine. You can reach me on any of my social media, or probably mail me, Femi at iaprecision.com. Yeah, I'm all yes. And I want to recognize the presence of my mommy, our mommy. Mommy
Exactly.
Adoba. All right, so mommy, I see you. Thank you so much for being here. I mean, I didn't know where you slept in,
I was
but
not.
I know I was.
I saw that. I saw when she came.
Should
Okay.
have allowed me to continue to hide.
No.
You can't run. Thank you, ma.
Thank you, Femi.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, ma. You're welcome. I know this is another dose of motivation and clarity to these young minds. Thank you so much for coming around, and I'm very grateful sharing the platform with you. Thank you so much, Ekundayo. So, guys, if you have any further questions, or guidance where possible, I'm always happy to do that because I want to, like I always say, I want to see many flying farmers. I mean, I want to see many flying farmers. So let's change the narrative. And yeah, thank you so much, Ekundayo.
I'm very happy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right.
All right.
The session has been really amazing. Personally, Mr. Femi is connecting with my spirit, and I'm getting fired up. But it's already night, so I'm already getting fired up to add up to what I'm actually planning to do. Like I said, guys, this is not just one of the program you just come and listen to the speakers and just go like that. No, this is the kind of program that after which the seminar will go real into the practical with 1 month intensive coordination. No, you guys have been there is more extension to the break now. We have 4 weeks addition, and the school will likely be resumed back to work by May 16. That is too lengthy. We can produce something within that time. We can produce vegetables of various types during that time and to start enjoying and understanding the basics to what you need to grow through the value chain. All right, so I would like to call Tola. So I won't be the only one talking. We have my team here. Tola, please introduce my great mommy Ajay. I've been in a talk and oh god, I can't forget that day. My brain was resetting instantly. She's so loaded. I want to please introduce my able mommy. I call her my mommy because I'm always free with her. Madam Edobong Akpabio. So Lutola, please let me do the introduction. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening once again, and good evening to Mrs. Edobong Akpabio. Like I told us on the first day of this meeting, I said we have quality people amongst us. We have quality facilitators, and I would say it again and again that Mrs. Edobong Akpabio is one of the treasures that we have in the Nigerian agricultural sector and even globally because she is one of those women who are changing the narrative of the agricultural space. I mean, it is not something so easy to come into the agricultural space and then even found a company that is agriculture and technological technology inclined. So we have Mrs. Edobong, or permit us to say Mommy Edobong Akpabio, who has contributed so much to the agribusiness space and who is also involved in building, helping people, helping the Nigerian youth to build their business. So I know her outside agribusiness, and I know her even outside the CEO Visionage Agritech Limited. I've been following her over time, and I have worked with her, but she doesn't really know me like that. So join me as I welcome Mommy Edobong Akpabio as she takes on the mic from me. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening,
Um,
ma'am.
yes, so Dami has given me one big assignment, uh, connecting the dots. I'm wondering, he's asking me to go philosophical and then talking about opportunities across the agribusiness value chain. I like talking to young people, apart from the fact that they are like sponge. A lot of them can mop up information and knowledge like sponge mops up water. So young people fascinate me a lot of the time, and then I work with them a lot because me sometimes I'm in some areas too conservative for my own liking. Young people don't have time for all of that. They want to explore. They are very adventurous. So the area that me I cannot reach, I will look for them to come and help me out. So it's good to be in your midst this evening. I just sneaked in and said, I must not allow Femi to leave without my listening to him. Oh. Only for me to have been my cover to have been blown open. But we'll do some soul searching. Yes, we are in agribusiness, but we'll do some soul searching as a result of the topic I'm handling for you this evening, connecting the dots, looking beyond the now. What I know about connecting the dots is a form of puzzle, a puzzle that contains a sequence of numbered or marked dots. You could see that there are marked dots here and there, or there are numbered dots here and there. So for somebody who likes puzzles, what you simply do is try to see how you can connect one line to another, one line to another, until you discover that it produces a picture, or it produces a something like a design that reveals what was hidden. You know, when you had the dots without the connection, you didn't know what it was going to come up to be. We've done puzzles like that that become the map of Africa. I remember when I was a teenager, we used to do a lot of that. I think Daily Times used to have us do things like that. So you will see it will come out to be a map of Africa. It could come out to be some kind of an animal, you know. It was quite interesting at the time. But that is what uh, connecting the dots reminds me of, as I grew up. And I read from a lady called Monica Barnes. She's one of the writers that I like to read. I like to read her books. She's an entrepreneur, but she likes to wax philosophical, in entrepreneurship, because she believes that whoever is an entrepreneur today, something led you to it. So she was talking about connecting the dots and life, and she says it implies a person who accepts life as it is. This is your life, and then is adapting and opening to new possibilities. So I'm me, I'm Edobong, I'm a woman. I can't change that. I can probably change my name, but would I want to? But I can't change the fact that this is the sex. I'm a female, I'm a woman now. So I'm accepting that, and I'm, because of that, looking at who I am and so many other things, I am adapting to my environment, I'm adapting to my situations and circumstances, and I am opening myself up. I'm looking at new possibilities, new opportunities. So because I'm thinking that what I'm not seeing now, sooner or later, it will reveal itself. Sure, you see how the connecting the dots is coming. So there's a whole lot of scenarios around me, but I may not understand it as I'm living from one day to the other. I'm having one experience to the other. As I'm connecting those dots with my my actions, my experiences, my knowledge, my network, my exposure, my development, and all of that, I will discover the picture, the true picture of where life is taking me. So that is the picture that Monica Barnes is painting about connecting life dots. And she's saying that every single thing that we do, everywhere we have been, every action we've taken, every decision we have taken, every cry, every laughter, every success, every failure, every work, every relationship, every experience, every situation, every circumstances. It may not make sense at the time it happens. Maybe the schools that we went to, even the one we are attending now, ASU is on strike. It may be looking quite confusing, to all of us. But what she's saying is that once in a while, do like a self-reflection. Look back, and do just some sober reflection, and you will discover that everything connects to where you are today. So for me, connecting the dots is about, trying to follow a trend in your life, trying to trace out a trend in your life. And then you now discover that you will find the big picture in the midst of all those mass dots all around you, all those happenings around you. You will find that there is a big picture of what you really are here to do. Remember, we are talking about dots. We are talking about connecting the dots, looking beyond the now. So you will discover that the picture that will come out of the reflection that you have done on your life, you can see that there is a whole new world of possibilities ahead of you. So one young man called Yoli, he was also talking in that line. He's a Chinese guy, very intelligent young man. And he says, our lives are like scattered graphs, random dots. And all our lives, what we are doing is looking for how to connect them together. That is what he's saying. And all you just need to do is focus and keep going. Sooner or later, those dots will connect. You may not really know the reason why you have met somebody in your life, those classmates that you have, those friends in your neighborhood, the people that you have probably known one way or the other. You may not understand why you have met them, but at some point in your life, you will understand. It will become a very clear picture. Why were you not classmates to other people? Why are you classmates to these people? Why were these teachers teaching you? Why were not other teachers teaching you? And you will discover that, those were the people that were going to set up, the possibilities or your destiny or the guidance that you require to be able to get to where you are. So this evening, we are going to look at connecting your entrepreneurship dots, looking beyond the now. And when we talk about it at entrepreneurship, we're not just looking at money. In those days, our parents, they are businessmen, businesswomen, and everybody is looking at, oh, they are going to make money. Everybody wants to make money one way or another. Whether you are an employee, you are also going to work because you want to make money. So, but an entrepreneur is beyond money. He is providing value. He's building wealth. That's what an entrepreneur is coming to do, to create value, to build wealth. And he does that because he is innovative enough to reach out to resources and to achieve that through great relationship. So what he's trying to do to be able to create that value and build wealth is to connect some dots, connects dots through resources, connects dots through relationships. So there are connection points in the course of that trip. It's connecting intelligence, it's connecting wisdom, it's connecting abilities, it's connecting intelligence, it's connecting so many things that will be associated with delivering value and building wealth. So you have to have insight as an entrepreneur. And it doesn't come when you are completely an adult. It already starts showing even when you were young. If you try to remember when you began to observe things, maybe for fast people at the age of 2, some people can recall what they did even at the age of 2. Some people can recall, at a much older age. But if you look through your life from that moment where you began to observe things, you will discover that you've been growing up with certain insights all along. You didn't just know that they exist, or you didn't know what to call them, or you didn't know what to do with them. But your intuition, your insights were being developed even as at that time and in a particular direction. So even as young as you were and growing up, you were, your adventurous spirit didn't start today. You've been trying to tinker with things, from time to time in the course of growing up. Some people will say, "Oh, it's just testing." No, it's part of the things that have led you to where you are today. And many of those opportunities still exist. The dots, you have not finished connecting them. You are still on the way. You are still putting it together. That is why you are in this program. This program is part of the dots in your life that you are connecting. So I thank Dami and his colleagues for what they are doing, as ASU has given us this time out to be able to learn a lot and be able to look at the future, because by the time you are done with this program and you are back in school or back home, you will not be able to sleep. You will not be able to sleep again like you used to. Time has come for you to be able to do more and be able to connect dots in a more focused manner. So you have a lot of life possibilities, like I've been saying, and they are quietly developing around you. So now is the time for you to begin to notice them. Some of you already notice. Some of you already have been watching at the pattern. If I tell you the story of my life, I'm beginning to discover the reason why I'm here. I am sure that I've told you before and at a previous meeting that I didn't read agriculture. My first degree, I didn't read agriculture. My second degree, I didn't read agriculture. Agriculture came at me when I was thinking of going into another phase of my work life. That was how agriculture came. And it's been a fantastic experience ever since. I want to let you know that it is now I'm beginning to discover why I am in agriculture. So the dots are still there. In observing them, I've seen the pattern, and I have a very good idea what it is turning into. So connecting your entrepreneurship dots in the agribusiness value chain, the field of agribusiness offers a whole lot of opportunities, whether as a career or as a business. There are a lot of opportunities in agribusiness. Many people don't know how integrated agribusiness is to nearly every area of our life. Mention it and I will tell you where agriculture features there. Just name it. Agriculture is the only vocation, is the only sector that permeates every area of life and other sectors. If you name it, I will tell you. You say aviation, agriculture in aviation. That is what Femi is doing. Femi is doing a different kind of aviation business in agriculture. So name it and I will tell you. So this should greatly interest young people, because we are not just talking about production. I've told young people that, look, don't spend too much time on production. Understand production. You need to understand it. But more importantly, you need to focus on the 90% of opportunities that are in the agribusiness space, and agriculture is just 10% of it, if it is even up to that. So young people should be very interested in agribusiness because the opportunities are huge. So the value chain is defined as the people, the resources, the activities that take place in bringing an agricultural product from the farm to the table, from the point of production to the point of consumption. So it covers the conception, it covers innovation, it goes up to policy and research, it involves activities in crop, activities in livestock, activities in agro services, activities in agri-tech. It includes food and non-food areas. The opportunities are vast, and they lie in the knowledge and the development of investment and participation in the value chain activities. That is where the business is. That is where the opportunities are. That is where the career is. I tell you. It's a young lady whom I used to teach as a teenager in one of our churches, and she was given admission recently before the strike in University of Lagos to read botany. So I asked her, so what are you going to do with botany after graduation? She said botany is useless to her. She wanted to read medicine. I felt so bad. Even if you are served lemons, is part of the dots of your life. When you make lemonade, that was exactly why you were served lemons. I don't know whether you understand where I'm going. Whatever it is, I had already understood what was happening in the university system even when I was there. I entered university. I took JAM and I wanted to read law. The first time I took JAM, I was told I didn't make the cutoff points for law. The cutoff mark and my cutoff mark, mine was lower than the cutoff mark for law. So, because I was very interested in reading law, I chose to take JAM a second time. My parents weren't happy, but I insisted. When I took the second time, I had a higher score. I said, yes, this time around, I was going to read my law. But when I got to go and, while waiting for the admission, in our own time, they used to give you admission letter in public universities. And admission letter never came. And my uncle went to go and check, came back and said that my name is not on the list. So what is happening in the university admission system, the racketeering didn't start today. End of the day, I didn't read law. But I had made up my mind that I don't want to stay at home again. Hello?
With you, ma.
And yeah, somebody is talking in the background. So I had made up my mind that I didn't want to stay at home one more year just because of this law. It had become very clear that there are conspiracies around this my law desire. So I said, okay, let me go and read what was offered, which was English. It's today that I'm beginning to see where life has led me. All the lemons have been served. I simply refuse to fail. I refuse to be discouraged. I refuse to be depressed. I refuse to be frustrated. I continued to link my dots. I continue to link my dots. And where it has taken me to, I'm sure if I read law, I probably wouldn't be where I am today, in this particular area where I am. I probably would have been doing something else. And who knows, maybe that's not where my dots were supposed to connect. So many of us are not doing what we desired to do. That's life for you. Sometimes we were that time. My parents would tell me, "Man proposes, God disposes." So what was he supposed to say? With the one that is beyond you, move on. But today, I'm trying to tell you, no. Before you just say you are moving on to where? You have to determine where you are moving on to. Whatever it is that you are doing today, whatever it is that is happening to you today, it is taking you somewhere. If you give up, you will not get there, or you will get to somewhere else that is not meant for you. In this agriculture value chain, I want to let you know that there is a reason why you are in this space. There is a reason why you are in this meeting. And we are talking about agriculture. And you know that that is what we'll be talking about. So it's very important that you begin to pay attention to where life is taking you to. Now we are faced with a situation of food insecurity. There are so many reasons why we are having food insecurity. If we are looking at Nigeria, it started like more than 10 years ago when we began to have issues of general insecurity and terrorism. in some areas of our country that began to spread. At the time, if you recall, a lot of our food came from the north. So when terrorism crisis came in, a lot of the farmers were being attacked. They were being kidnapped. They were killed. You know, so people fled from their farms. People abandoned their farms. So we began to have less food. Okay, so there was a pickup of agricultural activities, especially in production down south. We began to see the gap, and there was more involvement of people in production activities down south. But then we also started having criminal attacks, criminal headsmen attacking farmers, destroying farms, kidnapping farmers. We began to have a lot of farmers became endangered, and people began to flee their farms. So with loss in productivity and an increasing population, it was only a matter of time that we will begin to have food shortages and food insecurity will set in. Along the line too, we began to grapple with, don't forget, even when we were even doing the production, we were having low yields of food. We were not producing enough for our population. Population was rising, even when we were not having conflicts. We were not having enough yield. Nigeria was importing a lot of food when we were still planting nearly everywhere. There's no state that doesn't have agricultural production activities, but yet we could not feed ourselves. We were spending a lot importing food to eat. So you can imagine what now happened when the criminal activities set in. It just worsened the situation. And then economic crisis. We were not now having enough money to be able to import food like we used to. And then climate change now added into it. We started having extreme weather temperatures. If it is not too hot, it is raining too much. We're having flood in areas where it was inconceivable to have flooding in a particular time of the year. We were having dry spells in areas in the middle of the rainy season. It was a shock, to everyone. So all of these have come in to completely destabilize production activities, and that's in food production the way we used to know it. And so the UN describes food security as the means by which all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that will meet their food preferences and dietary needs for an active and healthy life. So for food security, it must meet the following criteria. Food must be available. Food must be accessible. Food must be affordable. Food must be sufficient. Food must be safe. And food must be nutritious. That means it must have nutrients. Safe must be free of poisons, and not necessarily the poison that the home video is showing us. That is what will be dangerous, that will impede the health of the consumer. It must be sufficient. Somebody should be able to eat food sufficient for his well-being. It must be affordable. You should be able to afford food. It should be accessible. I should be able to go out there and be able to access food, either to buy or to take or to collect. Or I must be where I can find food unimpeded. And then it has to be available. Within all those parameters, there are issues. Within all those parameters. And young people play a very important role for us to be able to overcome the challenges before us. And I'm not just talking about young people in Nigeria alone. All over the world, everybody is having a serious issue of food insecurity. All over the world. It's not just in Nigeria. All over the world. So we young people are going to have to rise up so that we can contain this looming disaster. So we have issues where we have more population than we can feed. We have issues of urbanization that is taking land that would have been used to produce food. We have globalization and climate change that is staring us in the face and attacking us from all frontiers. So there is need for more and more young people to be engaged in food security activities, because with food security you will discover that they will be able to get involved, participate in agriculture. There will be employment, there will be entrepreneurship opportunities, there will be interconnection opportunities just from one sector, agriculture. It's a fantastic thought, I tell you. So all over the world, many countries and many organizations have positioned themselves to encourage young people, to get involved in agriculture and to make agriculture to be attractive by removing the obstacles before young people. We know that young people don't want to, go into hoe and cutlass in production. We know. But how many of them can afford the tractors that and the other machinery that are around us? So we are advocating, and we want young people to join, put their voices to it, the advocacy, that let's have simple, functional, and affordable implements that you can use and make agriculture to be less laborious. So you cannot just say, oh, agriculture is laborious, I'm a graduate, hoe and cutlass. Okay, if not hoe and cutlass, what will you use that will be affordable, that will be simple, that will be functional and still give us the results? That is what young people need to, to think about, because it is in your hands to transform the agriculture sector to become more youth friendly and to have a stimulating environment that stimulates your mental intelligence, just like what Femi is doing. Femi is doing amazing things at his age. My mind was in a different direction. It had absolutely nothing to do with some of the things young people like Femi are doing. But this is amazing. And there are many young people like that all over the place doing amazing things. What we are saying is, let's have more of you. Come and turn around the fortunes of the agriculture sector. Come with innovation. You are full of creativity. You are full of intelligence. You are amazingly brilliant. You have good, good, how should I put it? Vibes, good energy all around you. Bring it and stimulate the agriculture environment. Areas for which we know that are going to help young people, to be able to participate actively in the agribusiness sector is to provide access to knowledge. Young people need knowledge, even from the university. A lot of you are probably very interested in agriculture. Stories like Dami's own, stories like Ken Obaiwana, stories like Femi, and many other young people that I have met, having started doing things in agriculture right from school. We need to have more. When you are in your agriculture faculty, don't just think, I didn't want to read this agriculture. It's because I don't want to stay at home. This jam that I've been taking, people are cheating me. Nigeria is finished. Those are some of the things that should not come out of your mouth. There are so many. Spend time trying to enjoy the learning that you're getting and the opportunities available for you to do amazing things. So you need, to be able to devote yourself to knowledge and get information, apply the information, and seek education. I heard Femi saying something about some of the teachings you are receiving in school. That's just one of it. But you have a kind of unique opportunity that we didn't have. At the time that we were in the university, we had no access to internet. We didn't even know there was anything like that. But here you are. You not only have access to the internet, it's at your fingertips. You are holding it in your hand, in a mobile phone, such a package. If I needed to check anything, meaning of anything, I have to go look at a very voluminous dictionary. Now, with a click, you can get any information you want. So use it. Get education. ASU is on strike doesn't mean you are on strike. I tell you, there are so many places you can learn about what you are looking for during this strike, and you are better than many of your peers when you return to school. Let me tell you what I learned. This ASU strike didn't start today. when I was in university, there was a time. No, I think I'd left university because we only went on strike once throughout the time I was in university, and that was even in my final year. I had presented my term paper. I was waiting to define my budget, my project, when students just, you know, took on the school authorities because we hadn't had electricity for a few days. We couldn't pump water. Toilets were messed up. So students just got angry and they sent us out of school for some weeks. But when ASU became a real problem, I had already left school. But I remember my neighbor's son. Every time ASU was on strike, guy would be home and then he would just go and spend time in a business center that was on the same street with us. And the parents used to, be very worried. They didn't want him to hang out with people that were of, people that are maybe on smoking drugs, taking drugs, or all these 419 people that used to come to business centers at the time to transact their illegal business. So they were a bit afraid. But then I knew the owner of the business center. He was a member of my church. And I had been watching this guy. And I saw him as quite legit. I had a time to talk to him. And I could see that guy wasn't entertaining, people coming to idle away, unsavory characters in his business center. So I encouraged the parents to allow the young man to go and be spending time there. Do you know that every time they are recalled to school, that guy was learning something new? He was saying that he learned Corel Draw, he learned to design people's logo, he learned to design people's complimentary card, people's letter-headed paper. He learned to type. He would type letters for people. He would type statements even for people coming to do police reports. And he learned how to do all of those things. All of those learning helped this guy, that by the time he finished school and where he did youth service, they gave him, he was already a permanent staff even while he was doing youth service. What am I saying? Those were the dots that he was linking, the dots of his life. He didn't pray to have ASU strike. ASU strike met him. And there was not, he can't do, he's not the one that is causing the problem. He's not the one that will solve the problem. But he could not imagine himself just sitting home like many of his mates and watching TV. And he went to do something. So what am I trying to tell you? Education is not only when you are in school. Education is everywhere you are. There is always something to learn, even about what you see. Then you can go out and even intentionally seek the education that will be good for you. So organizations, nations, and many other stakeholders in the future of youths, we have to come together with the youths themselves so that they can have access to knowledge, have access to information, have access to quality education. And like I said, it's not only found in the four walls of a school. You need access to land, whether you are in production or outside of production. At some point, in part of a lot of the other areas of the value chain, you still have access to land. Somebody that wants to do logistics, warehousing, storage logistics, he will need land to put the warehouse now. Somebody that is even into transport logistics, he will need land to park the vehicles. So we need land for me is an asset that will be the young person who wants to be in agriculture will require to be able to further develop his business. So we should have access to that, access to financial resources. The business rolls on money, but like I normally tell young people, the first point of money starts with you. So right now, in the dots connecting activity of life, you have to start keeping money for what you are going to do in your future. You have to start putting money down now. You have to start doing something to earn money now. I just finished a training program for some agro entrepreneurs in Calabar, Cross River State for GAIN. And I told them to their faces, I said, from your own pockets, because when it concerns you, you should be ready to sacrifice for you. And then they understood me there. But when I told them, I said, inside you are assets that you have not tapped. Inside of you are assets you have not tapped. And I'm asking young people tonight, what is it that is inside of you that you are yet to tap? So when you're looking for financial resources, you have something in you that you can use to make money. Is that what you're doing? Or you are just waiting for a situation where when it is time for you to want to do what you want to do, you start looking for who is going to give you money. And that uncle or that cousin or that brother or that sister that is not going to give you is now going to be labeled. It won't work. Nobody wants to be blackmailed that way anymore. So look inside of you, look around you. What is it that you can do to be able to make money, such that you can have that as your parts contribution towards what you want to do as you are connecting the dots of your life. You are going to need access, to markets. Whatever it is that you are going to produce, there are people that are going to be needing it. Who are these people? Where are they? Or can they afford it? What do they need it for? How useful will it be to them? What should I be offering them? So all those things are part of what is coming from the inside of you to the outside environment of you, even as you go connecting the dots of your life. And one of the areas for which I want young people to really pay serious attention is in policy matters. I remember some years ago, I made a presentation in IITA to young people. And then I asked, at that time, that particular year, a few months before, the National Youth Policy had just been launched. And I asked the young people, I said, how many of you know about the National Youth Policy? There were just about 2 hands that were raised in a hall that had over 500 young people. I was shocked. This is policy that has been put together for you. The federal government says that these are the things, this is our mind concerning youth. This is our plan concerning youth. These are the support systems we have concerning youth, and you don't even know about it. I think we need to change that. You need to intentionally look, because those are the areas for which the information you will receive from that document is part of the movement of the dots of your life. So it's not just the policy. You won't wait for people, because you don't even know who were the people that sat down to bring that policy about. Who were the ones who conceived that policy? Where did it go to? Did it even go to the National Assembly? How was it adopted? Who is going to administer it? You need to find out. You need to find out. If tomorrow, because you need to find out when next it will be reviewed, and you mark the areas for which you have an opinion in the review. Whenever it is going to be reviewed, you make yourself available. Discuss it. Raise, good critical mass, on it. Let young people like you be interested in what it's young people that woke up and rose up and said, we are not too young to run. And look at how they have blazed a very serious trail, and a lot of other things that young people are doing. In this sector of agriculture, we need young people to step up to the plate and be able to ensure that they further develop what they have on ground. The truth is that it is part of the dots of your life that you have been brought, to come and do. So now you have to begin to connect the dots of your life. Nothing in this life is a coincidence. I found that out a long time ago. The relationships you have today, the people you have met, the things you are doing, all of it is connected to something. You may not know it now, sooner or later you will. That is why you don't take anything for granted. You don't take anywhere for granted. The people you meet, young people, they go to church, and immediately after the grace, they disappear. They go to the mosque, immediately after it ends, they disappear. No, there's a reason why you are sitting with somebody that is right beside you. Get to know. There's nothing wrong in being pleasant. You greet the person. Just simple communication. Exchange your name. If the person doesn't want to give his name, ask the person, what's your own name? Strike a small conversation. By the time you see the person a second time, the person is no longer a stranger. You were sitting together. You just said a little. It's very, very important. You may not know it now, but sooner or later you will know why that person came across, around you. So it's very, very important that you know that nothing in this life is a coincidence. So I will be asking you, how did you get to attend this webinar? How many people? Dami can tell me probably how many people are in the webinar. Is it only you in a place, a forum, a platform that can accommodate millions and thousands of people, and it's just you that you are here? There is a reason. Were you invited? Did you see? Was it advertised? Is that where you saw, the information about the webinar? It is because you were interested. That's why you are here. I tell you, something must have piqued your interest. Something about this webinar must have piqued your interest, and that is why you are here. Track your life from as long as you have been old enough to observe things. How did you develop an interest in agriculture? Agriculture now, like I told you earlier, is something that I'm beginning to see how God brought me here. My mother was a typical Ibibio woman. You will not find any Ibibio woman in my mother's generation. Wherever they live, they planted something. They will plant ugu, they will plant water leaf, they will plant bitter leaf. God help you. If the place is large enough, they will put chicken there. And that time, don't forget, they used to have large families. My mother gave birth to 7 children. And she was an employee earning salary. My father, an employee earning salary. Can you imagine how they had to feed 7 children? So those things they were doing, having a garden behind, it was an avenue for them to be able to feed, contribute to the food in the house. And when they have excess in those days, sometimes they will sell it. But my mother had a very unique way of doing things. Whenever we have visitors and they come after they visited, they've been entertained with food and drink. When they are going, my mother will go and pick some ugu. My mother will pick some water leaf. My mother will cut some bitter leaf. My mother will grab one chicken and give to them to take home. That was how my parents built a whole relationship full of goodwill that I am tapping to and my children are tapping to till tomorrow. I didn't know. You see how agriculture. So by the time they will tell you to go and pick the weeds there, and you will be frowning your face, you didn't know that it was going to get to where we are today. Growing up, also, my mother now had a little business, poultry business, piggery business that she ran. All was in a quest to be able to, improve the home income. She was still a full-time nurse. She was still working, and she still had those businesses among other businesses that she had. I sometimes I wonder these days how she had the time to do all of those things. But I tell you, now recalling, because she will not be able to pay so many people to be able to do the business for her. So when we are on holiday, she will make us to go, do some work there on the farm, and we learnt a lot. I learnt a lot. A lot of the things I'm doing today, I enjoy it, but I will recall from what we used to do in the past. I never read agriculture, but I think in the dots of my life, it is connecting me wherever I have been and whatever I've done to what I am doing today. So, what would be the benefits of youth participation in the agri-business value chain? Number one, there will be many career and business opportunities that will ensure that youth will help youth will help to ensure food security for the populace, whether in your community, whether in your state, whether in your nation, or anywhere you go. You take this agribusiness career or vocation with you, and you will discover that what you're doing is helping to reduce food insecurity wherever you are. So that's one of the things that we will gain. And then you will discover that when youth are involved, a critical mass of young people, devoting themselves to the development of the agribusiness sector, there will be reduction in socioeconomic difficulties in the society, criminal tendencies that come from idleness, the devil's workshop all over the place. We are hearing so many scary things, in the lives of young people. You will see that it will be a thing of the past because many of them will be busy. We have not scratched the surface of this sector, I tell you. We are just running around. We have barely scratched it. There's still a whole lot out there that we have not touched. If we are talking value chain, I know what I will tell you. The areas I will open your eyes to. So when we are engaged, we are properly engaged, and agriculture provides the opportunity to engage at least 80 to 85% of the populace in different areas. I'm not talking about planting. I'm not talking about farming. I'm not talking about production. I'm talking about post-production or pre-production and post-production. There's a lot happening there. When people are busy, they won't have time for crimes. And then you will discover that rural urban migration will reduce. What come to think of it, what are we doing? Are we not going back to the rural areas? Is that not where our town planning regulations provide for farming? Let us even say that we are doing production. You can only do it in the rural areas because that's where town planning regulations have provided for. Now, if you want to even do post production, you probably want to be located where production is because you want to save the costs of logistics. So it takes you back to the rural area. Before you know what is happening, our communities will have, commercial and industrial uh, activities such that there's no need for people to move to the town. There are so many people I know who have since left Lagos. They have left Lagos. They have things doing, in Oshun, in Ondo, in outskirts of Abeokuta. They don't even want to. Where is Samson Ogbole? Can somebody tell me where Samson Ogbole? Did you see him in Ikoyi? Samson Ogbole is located in Owiwi, in Abeokuta. So, and hey, you cannot tell me that the guy he can't fit into any urban area any day. So look at it. With agribusiness, you don't even want to see yourself in the town unless you have something else that you are doing. Otherwise, you will discover that there will be less rural to urban uh, migration and also brain drain. Yes, things are difficult in Nigeria. Things are more even difficult elsewhere. I tell you, things are more difficult elsewhere. So these things will pass. So you will discover that rural urban people will stay back in the rural areas instead of crossing the deserts to go and die, and get missing and suffer and all of those things that we are hearing that is happening. You will be able to stay back here and get something doing and become more useful not only to yourself but also to your family and to your community. You know that youths are very interested in adopting technologies. They know how to use so many innovative tools. All of this can help for them to improve the efficiency across the entire value chain. So tonight we are talking about connecting the dots. It's something about our lives, all that we have been doing, all that we've been saying, all that we've been thinking, all our experiences, all our situations, circumstances, good and bad. They are helping to shape us, to take us to a particular direction. And if you think very deeply, you can see that you are actually joining your hand to connect the dots. Thank you very much for having me this evening. Thank you, Dami. Over to you.
Wow. Mommy, if you can see me right now, my mind has come out of my chest. Wow. Thank you very much for this explicit, mind-blowing, educative, eyes-opening session. Sincerely speaking, I don't know the exact English to represent my thoughts because people around me that I'm playing this that's listening to what you are saying, they're already emotional. Thank you very much for this value that you just dished out. And I see the genuinity, the reality in these words. I can relate when my lecturers are saying in class and I'm passionately asking them this question. And I'm happy that we're able to dive more into it by opening our mind, challenging us to see the perspective in the reality. Because no matter how much we can have the thought of running outside the country and the likes, we will still come back one day. And it requires some people who are passionate, enthusiastic, optimism, which are optimistic in nature to stand by and recreate things using their innovation. Thank you very much for this session. Whatever concerns you, you must be ready to sacrifice for it. That is one of the best motivation I'm getting today because I can see the reality in this word and it's so genuine. And you have taught us to learn something new and apply creativity, innovation to agribusiness. No matter what we are finding ourselves to have interest in, we should build knowledge, and which is one of the paramount thing Professor Amoju Egbe said. He said we should build the knowledge first before we just dive into any value chain. And you just complemented it. And Dr. Ojo was saying something yesterday about the value chain itself, giving us statistics about the reality. And it's as if you people have a general meeting together to educate us. And I'm beyond words. Thank you very much for this powerful session. I myself am motivated to drive more powerfully and to incorporate more innovation with my team to doing this. I want it all over to Olutola. I don't want to be the only one talking because she's here to support us and to add more to this conversation. So Olutola, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Mommy Edobong. It was really an insightful session for me, and I could really relate to the story you shared about home garden helping your family. It has helped my family so far, and I would say that there was a period in time when we did not have to buy pepper and tomatoes because the one from our garden was enough to satisfy us. And over again, we've been able to feed some families with our vegetables and for free, like basically for free. And even with some herbs that we have around, because we have some herbs planted in my house that even my family don't know of the benefits. People from outside tell us the benefit, and over time, people have mentioned those as being useful to cure some of their ailments based on prescription, anyways. So thank you so much, Ma, for this session. It's a big privilege to have you come talk to us, connecting the dots. And while you were talking, it was a practical session for me. I was connecting every dot from the time when I just love to put a seed of maize in the ground just to watch it grow. Even if I don't see the fruit, I just love to enjoy to see them grow. But my parents never wanted the farmer. They wanted the medical doctor. And as fate would have it, I studied agriculture at the end of the day. Thank you once again for this session. And I am sure that we have people on the call who would like to say one or two things just to appreciate you. So if you want to appreciate our speaker for tonight, you can just unmute and say something. Just let us know how much you've enjoyed our session and just a word of appreciation to her. And if you have a question, okay, we can only take one question because of our time, and we really don't want to hold her back. So you can unmute now, ask your question, and if you want to appreciate her, please do so. And if you don't want to talk, you can send a message to us. We'll do well to pass it across to her. Please don't be shy. Is anyone going? Anyone?
I
Does
think
anyone want to tell
I will have to call some name. I can see my lecturer here, Dr. Ojo.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I've signified.
All right. Yes, sir. We can have
Can
you.
I speak on?
Yes, you can, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. First and foremost, I'd like to appreciate our mommy for coming around just to educate us. And sincerely, I really want to thank God that I did not miss this session because at the point, I had to drop my food because I was eating when I joined, so I had to drop my food just to like I was at the point very emotional when she was dishing out every point, like talking about the crossing the dots and all that. We look forward seeing more of you around, even in agriculture. Despite the fact that you didn't study agriculture, we can see how passionate you are with the issue of agriculture. And I'm happy that, just like the way that, that Milari said, this is part of what we discussed yesterday, and we could actually see that linkage. There is a kind of nexus among what we've been discussing. And I pray that we'd have reasons to be able to say that, okay, in the course of this particular session or this workshop, we've been able to make significant impact because I myself, I will make sure that I get so involved in this particular session of this home garden and some other stuff like that. Once more, we really want to thank you, Ma, for making yourself available at this precious time just to speak with us and take us through this session. Thank you so much, Ma. And also, I want to use this medium to appreciate Damilari and White Up Global for putting this together. truly we look forward seeing more of you guys around in this country, and not just only in Nigeria, even in Africa as a whole. With this, I can tell you that there is still opportunity for us to be able to meet up with that challenge, or probably the goal of SDG, reducing the hunger by 2030. I see this happening by God's grace. Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, ma.
Yeah, thank you very much. From the comment section, we have Mr. Richard Bello. Uh, it's a daddy. Thank you for coming, sir. I really appreciate. I have you around yesterday. He said, "Well done, Madam Edobong. It's an awesome presentation. God bless you. Down to earth and very practical. Thank you so much, sir, for the comment." Olabisi Joseph said, "Thank you so much, man. It was a very powerful session. You are blessed, man." Praise Oladepo said, "Thank you, man, for the powerful pack session. Thank you for coming around. And thank you for dispensing so much value. God bless you, Mama Edobong. It was a very practical and I could relate." Fatima Anima Shaun said, "Thank you so much. This is awesome and educating. Thank you for your time and energy." Nicholas Joshua said, "Well done, man, for impacting us with knowledge. We really appreciate you." Richard Bello said, "Thank you." So, okay. And a friend of mine, Monsurat, saying that she's blowing it already and she needs to apply fan because she's highly, highly. All right, can hear her talk. Thank you once again, mommy, because I can really relate. I better understand the journey of my life because I never wanted to study agriculture and I applied to go study pharmacy in University of Ibadan. I tried my best, but unfortunately, I was not given the admission. I didn't meet up. I went to FUTA again to apply for medical courses, but I could not really um, get admission because I could not meet up again. I never liked OAU from the beginning of my life. I'm part of those that discourage students from even coming to OAU. But I'm getting to understand the dots better because when I was given, I did degree and I was, despite the high score, I was not given med rehab again, and I have to move from med rehab to microbiology. Finally, to find myself in agriculture, I was so sad. But I just told myself that if nobody are doing great thing here, I will give it my best and I will try my best and God answer my prayer. And I was able to quickly dive into agriculture early while on campus, able to produce different variety of vegetables, pumpkin leaf, jute mallow, green, and supply students because I could see a gap while I was observing that people studying agriculture itself are not able to feed themselves. I don't see reason why agricultural students will have to go to market and buy what they can produce. And it's so saddening when I found that in my faculty. In my part one, I raised the question up to the dean then and I asked him, "Sir, that why is this happening? We are agricultural students, we should be having more benefit of what the farm is producing." But they just sidelined the question, and I told myself I'm going to take up the responsibility. And I'm very grateful to God that as of 2019 and 2022, right now, we're able to supply as many students our products, organically grown vegetables. We have I'm into rabbitry in a medium scale, poultry, producing fatless poultry beds, spatial snary, and we have trained as many students. Right now, I have about when I was in part four, and I could see that people that are turning into agriculture, they don't really have the passion for it. They don't even know what it entails. They want to study medical courses like I wanted to study at the initial stage. Be able to put down program like this to talk to them, educate them, and let them know the importance of agriculture, even beyond the farming, the other benefits in the value chain. And I'm very happy that the result of that, thank God Dr. Joy is also here. We're able to have about 67 students who stood by in part one and part two to fully engage in their cultural process, and they are doing fine now. They are producing on their own, and they are even adding agromedia into their package. They are doing different agricultural presentations, and they are doing fine. And also, we're also looking at ourselves to doing more of this. And thank you for the privilege. We tried bringing you for the ASCON program last year, and due to some little challenge we had, and the virtual session catapulted me to learning more about the animal industry, like you taught us then. And with that, I able to tell my friend and we're able to join hands together to go more and learn. During the December period, we are at a swine farm. I'm working tirelessly, and also to buttress the what you have been saying about knowledge. And Dr. Ojo is here. He taught us a course called Food Security in Part 4, and we have to go and make research in our immediate environment about some community challenges that people that are facing food insecurity. By the time we got there, unfortunately, we found different problems. Are a lot of students grouped together, and we came with a presentation on how we ourselves could solve this problem, not waiting for the government. And with the effect of that, some of my friends will have to go back to that village and help them with our little knowledge we have. And right now, the community in Ife, Osun State, right now, they are moving forward. I'm very happy that the knowledge we gained in class was transferred to the field. And people in other institutions like OOU now, they are also implementing the same thing by when we come together to implement the knowledge we have in the sector. So thank you very much, Mommy. I'm overwhelmed. You can see from my talk that I'm really happy that this conversation happened on time. Okay, we have some questions here from okay. So okay, that asking me say thank you so much, Ma. The session was amazing. It's eyes opening. Thank you very much, Darasimi. All right, Esther Damnola said thank you very so much, man. This is an encouraging. And he said your teaching is giving me new insights. Thank you very much for that. Nicholas Joshua said, how can is the question? How can agribusiness work for food science? I was asking because I lately joined the program. Please help me to see to the question. Mommy, can you please quickly answer that? Said, how can agribusiness?
He has already mentioned food science.
Yeah, the final
So
came late.
you have already linked it. How does agriculture link to food science? Food science is part of our research support in agriculture. Without stakeholders in food science, how could we get food right, the food part of agriculture? So you have already answered it.
Thank you. Exactly. You've connected the dot of your question yourself because agribusiness and food science is being explicit enough. If you can, or if you need more clarification, we can actually justify that. But as Mommy has explained, that the aspect of research in helping the business of food go forward. Okay, Ifeoluwa Christy, this is your farm help support. Thank you for joining. You said thank you so much, Ma, for this amazing session. We love you dearly, and thank you to the team. We really appreciate. Please, if you have questions, I would like you to please unmute yourself. This is a great opportunity to have Mommy talk with us live so that we can quickly address some our doubts, our what we need clarification about before she call it a night to us. So if you have questions, please kindly unmute yourself and take the bold step to ask your question. Sola, can you handle that?
Yes. Yes, I can. So if you have a question, please unmute yourself and ask your question. We will not be taking more than maybe one or two persons because this is past 9. And like I said, we have no intention of holding our speaker down. And for our Muslim brothers and sisters who had to join this call, yes. So please, you can ask your question, unmute your mic and ask your question, or you can type it in the message box. You can just send a message and then we'll read it out. So be waiting. We have just 5 seconds to think about our questions. So the time starts now.
Okay, maybe I should open the floor for the question so that can ginger people. All right. Mommy talked about a fact that whatever you do, something led you into it. Now, in what way can you give counsels to students to understand a niche they can go into? Like you said, learning is a process, understanding is a process, unveiling is a process. But by the time you get there, we can look back and connect the dots of why we are doing this and get to know where we are heading. Now, what would be your advice for engaging in a sustainable practice in the agricultural value chain? A sustainable practice, as an entrepreneur like you, the fact that people starting now and later on they shut down for whatever reason is not justifiable. We want to understand why we started this thing and it's on the process that some people will pack out and why some people will still continue the journey. So what is your counsel for young students like myself in engaging sustainably in the agricultural value stream?
But it's not a one size fits all. So our interests vary according to who we are and our circumstances and experiences and all of that. So our interests are rarely ever the same. So what I would ask you to do is to find out what are you very interested in, which area are you particularly interested in, and you can take it from there. First and foremost, you have to be interested in something, and then get a mentor. It's something that I always advise young people. I said, look, there are people that are more experienced in this area. Your lecturers are there. They can help you. They can help you around, certain interest areas that you may discuss with them, or a business person in the same agriculture area. Find a way to talk to people. Let them be able to flesh out, that interest area for you. If I knew then what I know now, oh, there are many things I probably would not have done. But with hindsight, those were my dots. I had to pass through those areas to where I am today. So you can talk to people, and that's what I'm saying. You have to learn to build good relationships. You have to learn to know people. You have to learn to make yourself available, for people, so that you build good relationships whereby if you have anything you want to ask, the go-to person. The go-to person is something that you need to start thinking about very seriously now, and start wondering who will be my go-to person if I'm looking for advice in this area. Who would be my go-to person? And you begin to plug in that person. You may not necessarily know the person, but you find somebody who knows the person. That's what I do. I know a lot of people. I've met a lot of people in my life, but there are people that I want to meet, and I don't know them. I know they don't know me directly. I probably have heard about them, I've read about them, I've listened to them, but I don't know. They don't know me, know who I am. But I want to meet with them, so I will get to know the person that knows them, that I know. I will go to that person and tell the person what I want, and I find that they can link me, you know, to this person. You can do that too. One of the things you need to have growing up as a young person is confidence. There is a particular kind of confidence that a young person will have. You cannot be ignored, and those are part of the dots, that you are linking in your life. So it's very important that you find people that you can just drop hit the ball, like a sounding board. People that you can use for your sound until some things just become clearer for you. Your career interest, your business interest, your professional interest, your vocational interest. Find people to be a sounding board for you, and it can help you to be able to put everything in proper perspective.
Wow, thank you very much for that clarity. All right, Mr. Richard Bello, please, I would like you to unmute yourself and ask the question you posted on the chat box for clarity, because it means different thing to me if I have to read it out. Please, if you don't mind, because what you said there is just to use this illustration to help Joshua's question. Said a black made develop peanut butter. That is the full science. So many companies today produce different brand of peanut butter. That is the agribusiness. So I don't really get your question. If you don't mind, kindly unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you for this. I was just trying to call Joshua's attention to the fact that the two work together. One precedes, oftentimes, the science precedes the business. So, someone developed peanut butter, but today there are so many companies producing different brands of peanut butter. So it's the agribusiness they are doing. He did the science of it. So it's possible to build a network of the science and the business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard. I understand. I understand that now. I didn't when I saw the question, but you really explained it, and that's the truth. And that is the truth. Some people just have to be at the forefront. They have to be the ones to clear the bush, and then other people will just have a road that they can follow. So science is very important. Science, agriculture has a science aspect. It has an art science aspect. It has a social aspect. It has a cultural aspect. Just name it, it has it. And we can tap into each and every one of them because there are opportunities that are open. You want to use agriculture culturally, it is waiting for you to come and tap into it. And other people will simply just come and, make it even better, just like peanut butter.
I think it's the network. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, I think is our network just went off. Okay, we are gradually wrapping up. Let me quickly call Mama Ifeoluwa to just say a comment on the session.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good
Thank
evening.
you so much, ma'am. Thank you for all you do in our cultural space. We love you so much. And tonight, in fact, I was just like, Mama is giving us so hot this evening. And I really appreciate it, ma. Thank you for this section. God bless you, ma, and keep doing so well, ma. And to Daminari and White Up, keep doing the best. A lot of people are watching. The king shall come to your reward soon. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, thank you very much, Ma, for the compliment. All right, so a quick recap for everyone and those who will be listening to the comment to this record is that we are done with the workshop part. We still have the practical session. One of the people that will be helping us with the practical session is Mama Ifeoluwa Christy. She'll be helping us with giving us a vast knowledge about the vegetables, both leafy and fruity vegetable, and it's going to be more interesting journey with us for 1 month if we all follow through the instructions. So for those who have filled the form, we'll collate the form and group you guys into practicals, and we'll have a general group and we have a subgroup for you all where you're able to have your growth process monitored and well coordinated. So I think Mama Idoba as you with network, but I think we're done with the session. I will sincerely appreciate everyone for joining us for the 3 day program. It's been an interesting journey for me. I'm very happy that we heed to the instruction when the Holy Spirit spoke. And that's one of the most amazing thing about what we do at White Up Global at many and Global Good Delight. We follow the leading. For every young people out there, the knowledge we have acquired today is not for us. The effectiveness of this is the ability for us to replicate to other people in our respective institutions and wherever we are based so that we can have more people understand agribusiness. More people that are doing great in this sector are people that do not even study agriculture, and they just have the knowledge. And if you come to think about it, people that doesn't study agriculture are employing people that are studying agriculture to handle their farms and different things where we can be more creative to use our initiative and skills. So this is very paramount that at this time we need to just team up ourselves, because if leaders at the top are teaming up, even the politicians are friends at the top. Is that this down that we used to fight? They used to fight at the top. They are all friends. So it's if we young people can team up, give ourselves optimum support, and not being carried away with title and other affinities of life, coming together to build a substance and we can develop it, then I so much believe in our efficiency as one, and in unity we can grow together. But please, in your respective locations, stand out to do something, solve a particular problem. People that are here are not just here because of the talk. We are ready to, people that are ready almost every time to impact and give knowledge. And I want to appreciate my lecturer, Dr. Temitope Ojo, for making it tonight, and Mr. Richard Bello. Thank you very much for the honor to be here to hear what we young persons have in mind, what we are thinking of, what we are envisaging to see Nigeria be. Because so much I believe in my country, Nigeria, no matter how hard it is. I know it's hard right now, but it's a matter of time. And it's only people that fight through that can actually explain the journey. So thank you everyone for joining this meeting once again. We sincerely appreciate you on behalf of my team. In the absence, I appreciate Olutola still available. Tola, thank you very much. In absentia, I appreciate Praise Oladepo. I appreciate Angela Oluwa Oguniran. I appreciate Rebecca Adewale. I appreciate Tosin Ashiribo for the awesome work we had together to bring this on board. And according to the report I have, we have 236 number of students that joined the platform to explore this together. And this is very great. And we hope to achieve what we have said, and we have made a promise to everyone that the impact 243, not 236, 243 persons on the platform, and that's really great. And we hope to deliver more content and see other leaders arise from this program and be great in handling different respective value chain. So once again, I say thank you. My name is Ekunda Oluwadamilare. You can follow me on all social media. Follow White Up Global on all social media. Follow Global Agro Delight on all social media. We are always ready to serve you with the best content and the practical journey in the agricultural value chain. Thank you. If Tola, okay, Tola is off for now. So thank you very much. We can call it a wonderful night. I respect you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.